All right, my friends, today is June the 2nd, so welcome to the first outlook for the month of June. So let's just go ahead and get straight into things. Without further ado, let's just market outlook and plans for the week ahead. Okay, so you know the drill already. We're just going to go ahead and dive straight into the macro. Yo, guys, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Appreciate it. First talking point is going to be that the core macro plan has not changed at all. I'm still super bullish, expecting us to trade higher into the year. Next main talking point is going to be around the summertime chop thesis. As I've expressed throughout the local trend, I didn't really know how this was going to play out. I thought we would trade higher, but I didn't know if we would return to summertime chop or kind of have that breakout. As we've played out, I ended up shifting defensively, as I told you guys all last week, starting with the outlook, and then I played it pretty aggressively going throughout Monday. I don't think it makes sense to bet on continuation until we see a better bottom form, basically. I'll cover in much greater detail on medium time frame what I'm really looking for on that, but essentially I think that either we're going to bottom out around 100k or we'll probably trade down lower towards like 90k. But yeah, I mean that's the core thesis is that we are going to trade up higher. I do think that like I shared last week, being defensive focused right now makes a little bit more sense to me. In the meantime, so that is really pretty much it, right? Like macro has no substantial changes. TLDR is, from a macro standpoint, I'm back to playing defense again. Have my fun. This move was fantastic. Really thankful for the opportunity that the market gave us, but I'm not interested in giving it all back. A lot of people are probably really complacent right now, being bullish, and they're probably going to round trip a lot of that stuff. So I think it's just focus on over the next few weeks or a couple of months potentially. Survive the pain wave again before we get another giga rally later in the end of the year. That's the core thoughts. Let's go ahead and move on to medium time frame though. Medium time frame, this is going to be the plan that we're operating off of, right? So we're going off of what we had talked about many times before, right? We're looking for the impulses and continuation, or that's going to eventually lead to momentum loss, right? We talked about this last momentum drive being pretty weak. Some worrying signs flashed, and that's 110k. And here's the simple plan right now, guys. I would expect that Ashton is most likely right now, but if we were to trade up higher, what it would look like would be us continued defense at this 30-day rolling right now. This in confluence with, your quarterly value area high and a couple other VWAP levels tells me this is a really important zone. So you could see a scenario, right, where you just continue to build up support and trade up from here and use as that support that you're looking for. Alternatively, if we end up weaker later into this week, that tells me that we're going to trade down towards like 95k basically. So I think that until either A, I see some proven clear strength, or B, seeing us trade down to the next kind of local support zone on medium time frame, I'm not really interested in really being risk on until I see either of those taking place. So that's pretty much it for that. That's more or less it, right? I mean, ultimately, if you're a bull like me on the higher time frame, you're just looking for that higher swing low point, right? Is the swing low going to be here? Is the swing low going to be here? Or is it going to be all the way down here? I don't really know. Like, this could be the swing low theoretically. So you got to play it by ear. And not get overly committed to whatever your plans are and just have a loose outline. I don't know where the higher low is going to be set, but this is essentially what I'm looking for right here. Medium time frame is pretty straightforward, I really do think too that, regardless of whether or not we are going to go into summertime chop, momentum is still to the upside. So if we were to get like a dip to 95k, that's probably still a dip that I would be looking to buy potentially. Obviously I would be looking for a setup, but the idea is that since momentum is still to the upside, I don't think it's just going to, V back down, right? It's going to do the process where it, makes the lower highs, right? And, let's try that again, right? It makes the lower highs, right? Drives up and it, just continuously is weaker and weaker. That's most likely what this is going to be like, just like kind of like what we did over here, right? It's not just going to literally go up and down in a straight line. There will be setups along the way. Okay, that is more or less going to be it for the medium time frames. A little bit of altcoin talk. So I don't even really want to do an altcoin section right now. My altcoin exposure is really limited. I do own all the same coins I originally did. I just have sold the majority of the positioning down. I'll probably end up buying a bunch of alts back eventually. The one thing that I wanted to talk about with alts is around the narrative, and the kind of constant conversations we see on 2T about what's going to be the future for alts, right? And I just want to say this, really short and sweet and just straight to the point, guys. Very confident that in the future, when Bitcoin's trading up higher, that altcoins will be the play, right? They will be the things that move the most. Will an alt season, quote unquote, look like it's looked in the past, right? Probably not. It's going to be a more matured version of it, but still very, very confident that just like Bitcoin's going to trade higher, you know, you don't want to pre-position on this, right? But you want to wait for the opportunity. Alts are going to have their moment. And the huge issue that everybody makes on CT is it's like they're perpetually long, you know, spot alts all the time. And, you know, it's the timing is wrong on it, right? If you're just always long altcoins, you're going to get clapped, right? You really only want to be long alts. It's, you know, just key specific times when Bitcoin is giving us that all clear, it's time to be retardio signal. So the TLDR on what I'm trying to say is, you know, active trading on alts is great. Trying to, you know, hit your home runs though on higher time frame, right? You know, we just need to be patient and wait for that opportunity. I think that as Bitcoin trades up higher later in this year, it's going to give us that probably in Q4 of later this year, right? So please just, you know, lock in, preserve your money, build up your skill sets, learn, right? Do all that kind of classic bullshit that we always tell you to do, and just be here for Q3 and Q4. I think that you'll get rewarded for it. Very, very confident in that. All right. That's pretty much it for the yap. But anyways, that's it for me. Good luck out there. And I'll chat with you soon. Cheers.